Today we are going to discuss with educated person, a philanthropist, businessman and politician. Recently there has been a revived urge by notable young Nigerians to actively participate in taking over leadership during the forthcoming election. Amongst the new crowd he stands out as a person of integrity, passion and drive. Meet Abdul Salam Abdul Karim. Some people called him AA Zaura, Kano State's top contender for the gubernatorial race. Sir, you have been shuttling between Kano and Abuja recently. What have you been up to? In the name of Allah, the most benevolent and merciful God, I have been up and around, traveling around the Nigerian states, trying to help, build, and stabilize our party, the Green Party of Nigeria, in every part of the country, most especially in Kano State where I come from. You have shown interest in becoming the next governor of Kano State. What is your mandate for the good people of Kano State? Let me tell you, the plans I have for Kano State is such that has never been seen before in the history of the state. I was born here in Kano, so this state is a huge part of me. I have studied the state, done my research. From our findings, we have through history discovered that Kano State in the 1960s used to be one of the largest economies in the whole of sub-Saharan Africa, with booming agricultural sector. Industries were available in droves. We were famous globally for our towering groundnut pyramids which are no more today. A host of other things that provided jobs for the people are gone now. Kano of the 1960s was known as the center of commerce. Business thrived, but today the case is not the same. The educational sector too is also affected. Our religious educational sector and the conventional one, both of them are failing. We researched to find out where the state is failing, why, the factors responsible for this backdrop and possible solutions to these problems. My mandate is to make sure that not only do we return Kano State to those times when our agricultural prowess was known world over, we would revive the educational sector, and we could also take advantage of the booming technology available and make Kano better and more attractive for investors. So, what are your plans on restoring most of this long-lost glory of great Kano State that you have just mentioned? You know, as a person, when you want to attempt anything, don't just rise up and take action. Sit down, make plans, and strategize before making an attempt. I have taken my time to plan and get prepared. We are fully ready to do whatever it takes to restore the commercial value of our great state. Not only are we prepared, we have what it takes to make sure total transformation is achieved throughout the entire state. Earlier I talked about the groundnut pyramids of ancient Kano. Let me inform you that during that time, the people practiced manual farming. There were no mechanized tools available to the farmers. They worked with their hands and few primitive tools available to them, but still, they were able to achieve such groundbreaking feat in the area of agriculture. Now imagine we had continued in that path till now where we have mechanized systems of farming. Imagine what the state would have achieved. Then, the groundnut was only used as feed and or oil. But now there are so many byproducts you can get from the groundnut. Its economic value has increased tremendously, thereby making it a very lucrative multi-billion-dollar industry. My administration will focus on agriculture. We would make sure the agri sector thrives more than any other sector, because we believe in its potentials to absorb millions of our unemployed youths. The sector alone is sufficient to make Thai state independent of any federal government grants, if only the right thing is done. We intend to do that right thing. Are you saying your government is going to focus mostly on agriculture? Yes, we will put a lot of focus on the agricultural sector. The previous government of Adubako tried it, but 1/4 of his plan was not carried out. If it was continued by the present government, by now Kano State would have been an independent state. What have you identified as the reason why the projects were not completed despite monies being released to the state regularly by the federal government? A lot of factors have been identified, one of which is that the present government does not have the interest of the people at heart. If as a government the people come first to you, then you will definitely focus on projects that will bring development and raise the standard of living for the people. I can categorically tell you that the present government does not have the interest of the people at heart. If they do, they would have identified the agricultural sector as a sector capable of absorbing the teeming population of unemployed youths, providing income for the state, and generating infrastructural development. But instead of developing this sector, they have concerned themselves so much about the money that come from Abuja. Talking about the present government, Rumors are circulating that the Green Party of which you are a member is a tool created by the present government of Kano State to cause divide among his electoral rivals. How true is this? When I hear things like these, I just laugh it off. I have no idea where they got this information from, but let me make things clear here. The Green Party is a political party that stands independent governmental influence. It was created in accordance with the law and laid down regulations like any other party in Nigeria. We are not aligned with any government body whatsoever. Some even said my gubernatorial aspirations is sponsored by some persons. This is very untrue. There has never been a time where I or the Green Party has sat down with anybody to discuss or negotiate on anything such thing. We are working hard to take over government from the grassroots to the top. We are not pleased about the way the state is, so come 2019 the present government will vacate the state. You recently launched a citywide campaign to formally inform the good people of Kano State about your noble intentions. How has the response been so far? It's been overwhelming so far. You see, the people are tired, they have been pushed so hard to the wall, and they have not been given what actually belongs to them, which is their right and not a privilege. They have no access to clean portable water, good education, proper health care, or even food for their families. They are fed up, they are yearning for a change, a new beginning, an energetic government. They understand that we are all that they need, the change they desire. So, the acceptance has been massive by God's grace. Everywhere we go the people welcome us with open arms. We believe that come 2019, God will complete the fate He has prepared for His people. We don't have godfathers, we don't look up to anybody, but to God who gives power to His chosen one. Sir, you are a very young person, and for a long time our country has been known to recycle old leaders. Nobody your age in recent times has been able to achieve the position which you seek for. How do you intend to handle your rivals who are much older, more experienced politicians than you are? Thank you for that question. Now, talking about recycling, you can't take an old recycled product and compare its strength or durability with a new one. Our leaders keep recycling themselves over and over again. They were there in power while we were kids, and now that we are adults the same people still rule us. We are not saying they have not tried, no, far from that. What we are saying is that they have tried enough. Let them retire and rest so that we can continue their good works. It is high time people of the younger generation take over. If you study their case closely, you will discover that they performed better when they were younger and had the energy to run around and do things, but now they are old and tired, so they can't achieve much anymore. Which is why we are asking them to step aside so that we can use the strength of our youth to make our state, and indeed our country, great again. When we get in, we will give our best also, and after a while we would give chance for the next generation to take over too. That's how a modern, sane democracy should be. That's the only way we can achieve true development, by tapping into the strength of our youth in all aspects. I am therefore using this opportunity to call on all capable young persons out there who believe they are capable of effecting the much-needed change in our society to come out of their shells and actively participate in contesting for leadership positions across the country. I think that is already happening, sir. We have more and more youths coming out to signify their interest in leadership positions across the country. That's exactly what we want. Now let's go back to Kano State. Why should the people of Kano State vote for you in the Green Party, which is relative new, rather than an old government which they are used to? Well, the answer is simple. What we have in store for the people is second to none. Our manifesto says it all. We are not here to make promises and loot treasures. We are here to work, to serve the people first before any other thing. We have studied the terrain, we know where the shoe pinches, and we are not strangers to the sufferings of the people. We have what it takes to make the state work. All these and many more are the reasons why we believe the good people of Kano State should vote for us. We are young and have the energy to actually do work. Our government will not sleep at meetings and public functions. Our government will not doze off when the people are hungry. We will be up and doing, effective and pragmatic in our approach. We will take Kano State away from the analog state to the digital stage like other states and developed countries of the world. You have carried out lots of charitable projects across the state with your personal funds. Can you tell us about some of these projects? We have so many projects that we have carried out to help alleviate the sufferings of our dear people. For example, we visited all the secondary schools in Kano State and helped renovate the dilapidating ones. We built some more structures and provided textbooks and learning materials for the pupils. I understand the importance of education. I know that it is the bedrock of any development. That is why we have invested a lot in having a good learning environment for the people of Kano State. In line with these, I have renovated so many schools, built some new ones, created skill acquisition centers in all 44 local government areas. In each of this LGA, we train at least 20 people, both women and youths. Not only do we train them, we also empower them financially to kickstart their newfound skills. We also buy the products made by these trainees as a way of encouraging them. We then take Thai products to prison and distribute to the prisoners. When we got to the prisons, we discovered that 90% of the prisoners were youths. Our future rotting away in dilapidated prisons. We talked with the prison authorities and those whose offenses could be bailed. We paid and had them released to us. Then we took them to the skill acquisition centers to have them learn a skill and get rehabilitated into society. We believe the prison system should not only be punitive, it should also be a place where people get rehabilitated. The prison in itself where these youths are being kept was built in 1910. The whole place is ramshackle and ill-maintained. In the normal sense, by this time, that prison should be digital. It should be a place where inmates can access education, get skills, become reformed and fit to go back into society. But as it stands now, I doubt if any prisoner sent to the Kano state prisons can become rehabilitated by the standard of things we saw with our own eyes. They instead become worse off than they were before being committed to jail. I was told of a story about a young man who was sent to prison for 14 years here in Kano. When he was released, he went back into society and discovered he couldn't fit in anywhere. He hadn't learned anything while in prison, so fitting in was a pretty Herculean task. He had no option than to go back to the prison and plead to be imprisoned again. The 2019 general election are just some months away. The cycle will begin. Selfish politicians will swoop on our youths, enticing them with money in the bid to use them for nefarious activities. What is your vote not fight message? Our youth should understand is that this people that empower you to cause commotion and disrupt the electoral processes. You can never find their kids or relatives in any of these evil campaigns taking up arms against other people. Instead, they reach out to you that they feel is dispensable and use you to perpetrate all sorts of evils. Why don't you stop to ask yourself, why don't they put their children in the forefront of these battles? Why it is you that gets injured, maimed or even killed during any fracas? Let us apply our senses during this period, let us exhibit good character to the outside world, and let us exhibit an exceptional peaceful atmosphere that we can duly be considered for leadership positions.